You can train your brain for abundance. You can train yourself for seeing the good things and not going into scarcity. Now, it's not to say that the scarcity will never come, because it might, but you will get out of it very, very quickly as well. You will shake yourself very, very quickly and go like, oh, what am I thinking here? No, it's not me anymore. I'm someone else now. I think differently now. It's the identity shift that you can do so, so quickly once you've trained your brain, your body, your nervous system, once you've you've adopted this identity of I'm an abundant person.
Welcome to the Unconventional Business Podcast, your place for real stories of real people growing their businesses in the real world. Most of us are neurodivergent in some way, but of course everyone is welcome. This is the place for rule breakers, narrative dismantlers, and those who just want to forge their own unique path in the world. You will find no do it my way or 6 steps to 6 figures and all that BS here. My guests and I will offer guidance that allows you to take just the bits you like and easily apply them to your business. And of course, to bin the rest if you like. After all, building a successful business, whatever success means to you, is about creating something with structure and flow, not something rigid that feels like wearing someone else's clothes. Join me on this journey and together, let's do business differently. Today, I am joined by Aleksandra Kohut, money mentor who helps female entrepreneurs pay themselves more, which I'm very excited about. So thank you so much for being here today, Alex.
Thank you so much for having me, Siobhan.
We connected on LinkedIn a while back. I just love to see women talking about money in an unapologetic and powerful way, because I think it's something that, even as someone in their early 40s, I don't think it's something that I was brought up to feel that it was okay to talk about or to want or to own.
Oh gosh, no. No.
And let's face it, women weren't even allowed bank accounts in the UK until the 70s, so clearly a lot of work still to do. I'm very excited for this conversation. And I can't wait for the answer to this question. What makes you unconventional?
What makes me unconventional? I'm a rebel at heart, always been. If you ask my mum what she thinks about me and my life and what I'm going to do, she will tell you no idea. She's so unpredictable. I take risks. I love taking on big risks, and I'm not scared I think even smaller risks are there's more of a fear factor for me than the big risks. I love going for big risks with everything in my life. As I mentioned to you, we are now digital nomads living our financial freedom life in a motorhome, having sold everything in the UK. And someone called me wealthy woman on wheels. And that's it, right? This is our life. Huge risk, but oh my God, life is for living. And I think that's what makes me unconventional. Yeah.
I love that. Wealthy woman on wheels. I mean, you're literally living my dream lifestyle, so I'm here for it.
Oh, good. It's honestly, for us, it's been a dream come true. 16 years in the making. Excuses after excuses, reasons after reasons why we couldn't, why it wouldn't work. And then just last year, and we needed a big wake-up call from the universe. That shook us to the core. And I was like, if not now, then when? If we don't do it now, we're never going to be younger. It's never going to get easier. So why not now? So we've been doing it for 6 months now.
That's incredible. How is this different from how you started out? Like, what's the backstory to that 16 years?
So imagine this, right? 20 years ago, I just graduated university, just about to become a maths teacher.
Wow.
Right? Stable job at school, teaching kids, all of the safety written all over it, absolutely everywhere. And I then moved to the UK. I started working and training as an accountant, spent 15 years in corporate as an accountant. And I decided after 15 years that, you know what, it's not lighting me up anymore. It's no longer for me. I want to do something different. And the word freedom started coming up more and more for me. I always knew I wanted something different. I always knew I was made for more. And I always knew that my full-time job would not give it to me at any point. So my daughter is home educated. My husband works from motorhome. I work from motorhome. I changed my business over the last 6 years completely to follow this lifestyle, to allow us this kind of lifestyle. Uh, it's been it's been a lot of work, let's put it this way. It's been a lot of kind of preparation and the universe aligning to the way I wanted to live my life and giving me those nudges. Oh, just change this, and change that. And actually, it will all work out for you. Don't worry about it. It will all work out for you. So yeah, that's where I am now, having had my really successful career in corporate, leaving it at the very top and saying, I just don't want it anymore. And then going through the business, owning the business, kind of all highs and all the lows. 6 years in, loving the journey, absolutely loving how it all, what it made me to be, I'm a different person than I was 15 years ago. I'm a different person than I was 5 years ago. And the experiences are just so amazing, so amazing. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. So how do you help people now? Like, what's the core of your work?
The core is I empower women with money. I show them how they can make money. I show them how they can multiply money. Because for me, exchanging time for money is not a vibe. This is not what I want to be doing, right? I teach women how they can make more money without working harder, without putting all the effort into the business and just only surviving. Sorry, not striving, surviving, only getting by. That's not my idea of fun, to get by. My idea of fun is to work 3 days a week, to have a beautiful business that works around my life, and to have the freedom. And that's what I help my clients with as well.
Yeah, I couldn't be more aligned with that vision.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, weirdly, on a call just now with a potential new client, I found myself saying it's about having a business that adds something to your life rather than taking it away. And I was like, oh my God, why don't I say that? Where did that come from? That is exactly it.
Love it. Love it. I say to my clients all the time that build a business so that life goes first into your diary,
Yeah.
and then business goes around it. Because this doesn't create conflict. My clients are freedom seekers. We all value freedom so much that the minute we are in this contraction and the environment that forces us to do more business and less life, there's an internal conflict that just stops us from doing certain things, from growing the business, from scaling the business. When you do it the other way around, which is very not logical for us to have success in business, to put the lifestyle stuff in the diary first, and then everything that's left, you put the business in. Suddenly, it's like this Lego puzzles that fit. If you've got the right values, the right attitude, it just starts to fit the right way. And it starts growing. It becomes easier. It becomes more in flow. All of those jazzy things that everyone's talking about. It just all starts to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. I was thinking earlier how human beings, like our primary job, like any animal, used to be to survive, but how we've made it reasonably easy to survive for most of us. We've put a lot of the stuff in place that makes it much easier. So in place of survival, we've become obsessed with work. And actually, once you realize you don't have to do that, and that you don't have to be obsessed with survival or work, you can actually just prioritize joy, everything changes. And
Yeah.
then the purpose of
Yeah.
life is just to enjoy your minutes on the planet. And when you take that mindset into things, the ripple effect it creates on all the choices you make and how you plan your time and all of it, it's so different.
It is. And what you said before about, doing something that you love, that really fits in, that really lights you up. I've got financial freedom. I don't have to do this kind of job. I don't have to work, but I love it so much. And I know I would get sunk into something else because I just love doing things, right? I love creating an impact. I love showing people how they can change their own life. And that's why I kind of I fitted it somewhere along the lines between going to the beach with my daughter, between having a coffee with my husband, going for a walk, visiting all those amazing places we're visiting just now. There is time for my clients. Limited time, but there is. And what I made sure was that the limited time I've got, I use it to the best ability to impact the biggest number of people. So that's why I don't have too many one-to-one clients, right? Most of my teachings are group teachings because this is the way I can impact more. It's about being creative with your life. About being creative with your business and how you're doing life, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think everyone believes about the freedom lifestyle that just isn't true?
Ooh, that's a good question. Freedom lifestyle. You have to have a lot of money at the start to have the freedom lifestyle. I think that what people are doing very often is they are working more and more in order to get to the freedom. And this is like you're chasing something that is like a carrot on a stick in front of you. And you keep on chasing, and you will never reach it, right? Why not instead find freedom where you are, find pockets of freedom where you are at the moment, utilize it, and see how this feels, and expand. Expand on what you're feeling, where you're feeling the freedom just now. Freedom is available to absolutely everyone, but we need to want it. We need to make a decision. I want freedom, and I'm gonna do it, and not hope that by luck it will happen to us at some point.
Yeah. It makes me think of something I say to my clients, like, no magical time fairy is going to come and wave a wand over your week and create this time from nowhere for you to do the things you want to do. You have to make the choice. You have to make the time, and you're going to have to sacrifice something else, or you're going to have to work less or be more efficient or automate something. But I remember a client years ago saying to me, I feel like my diary runs me. And I was like, it's your diary. How can that be in control of you? Okay, don't make yourself available for calls all day, every day. Have some call free days. Limit the slots. Yes, but then I'll be less available. Yes, you will. You'll be less available to others and you'll be more available to yourself.
Yeah, but it's the hard stuff, isn't it? To
Yeah.
break this habit of a lifetime.
Yeah.
We have always been told at school, you have to work hard for your money. You have to work harder. Funny, I was chatting to someone today, and it was about how at school we were told, if you're not good at something, work more on it so that you get better grades, right? It doesn't work like this. This is the biggest lie we've been told. If you're not good at something and you don't enjoy doing it, outsource it and instead concentrate on something that gives you more joy and that you are an expert in, that is in your zone of genius. You're gonna make so much more money, and you're gonna have so much more fun in your life if you do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, like I specialize in working with ADHDers, and that is the whole ethos of my approach. Because if you've spent your life beating yourself up for the things that you find difficult, maybe due to like executive functioning challenges, or your really neggy inner voice, actually playing to your strengths, taking the things you're already really good at and doing more of them is really important. And that's what actually facilitates you being able to give yourself more self-compassion and speak to yourself more kindly. That's so true about the just work harder on it. What do you think it is about women and in particular with regards to money? Like, what's the sort of biggest block that you see?
Self-worth, no doubt. Everyone, everything that comes, every client that comes to me about whatever it is about money that they believe in, when we start peeling the onion, it always comes down to our self-worth. Someone, when we were young, told us something that made us believe that we are not worthy. And as human beings, we create stories, right? So when you're a child, when you're 3 years old, you want a lollipop in a corner store, and your mom or dad tells you, I will not buy it to you because we've got dinner on the table soon. You don't hear the second part of the sentence. You hear, I will not buy it to you. And you make it into, you are not worthy of this lollipop at the moment. And the challenge is that the story that we create around it is running the show for the rest of our life. unless we do something about it, unless we start uncovering those pillars of the onion, and we start going back to thinking, okay, how can I change this belief? Do I need to be creating a story? Do I need to be making it mean something that it doesn't mean? How can I increase my self-worth? How can I be kinder to myself? All of those things. And I've said so many things, nothing about money pretty much, right? Because money is just byproduct. You will make more money when you feel better about yourself, when you feel better about what you're doing, the impact you're creating in the world. When you're kinder to yourself, money flows so much faster. Yes, you need the skills to manage the money when you've got it. But it starts with you, always, always.
Yeah. I heard a really great question the other day. Rather than thinking, how can I make more money, think, how can I deliver more value? And I think you're only able to do that when you believe that you can deliver value, when you're able to say that to yourself. So to your point, like, you have to be able to do that work, find that work, look at yourself and what you're telling yourself, and reach a point where you do fundamentally believe, I deserve my spot on the earth. And from there, I can help and have impact on other people. But if you can't believe that, like you said, it doesn't flow.
No. And one thing I would add, it's giving value, it's creating value, and it's deserving to be paid for that value as well.
Yeah.
Because when we go down the road, I'm just here to give value, a lot of value. What I'm seeing with my clients, who are all empaths, they all are really, really, the value is to serve, to help people, to create this sort of big impact in the world. They go very deeply into the serving, kind of starving artist archetype, where I'm just gonna help and I can do it for free because I love it so much. And they allow their business and their own life to suffer, and they struggle financially because they embedded this, I'm just here to serve all the time so much, and I don't deserve to be paid. So it's about finding the balance.
Yeah. Yeah, you've just made me think a really common theme that comes up for my ADHD clients is this idea that, like, they become obsessed that other people can't afford their services. And I think it's due to their empathy. They pick up on things even if their clients aren't saying them overtly. What would you say to an empath who is trying to get paid a reasonable amount for what they're delivering?
And they are having the answer that is a no. Is that right? Yeah. So they are speaking to people. They are doing discovery calls, and people are just saying no to them. And usually they will say, no, it's too much. No, it's too expensive. Why they say it? Because it's the easiest answer. It's very rarely about the money, but it's the easiest thing to say. I don't have the money for it. It's too expensive, because then the other side cannot really argue with it, right? They don't know their bank account balance. They don't know their situation. But going back to your question, remind me the question
Just
again.
like, so as an empath, you're like, I need to tell this person this piece of work is going to be £500 and I'm not sure they can afford it. And I don't, like, what should I do about that?
Okay. So a couple of things. First is, your story is your story, and you don't know the other side story at all. So don't create things in your head that you could project onto them, that you can make them think. And I had a very similar conversation with actually my client this week, where she said, I cannot say to them, I want them to pay me £10,000 for my services, because, oh my God, what will they think about me? What will they say? And I'm like, what if they think, oh my God, I was expecting so much more. There's so much value in it. I was expecting this to be 15 or 20. So 10K is actually not that much. One more thing that and by the way, she got the contract, she got the 10K, and they didn't even blink the client, which just proves the point. But what we also did with this client was go for a no, collect the no's. So the more no's you get, and that's statistical, mathematical equation, right? There is always a number of no's you will get before you can get a yes from potential clients. The more you ask for no's, the sooner you will get the yes. But what we're doing as human beings, we are so scared to hear the no that we don't even go for it. And that stops us from getting a yes. So we play a game with my clients. Collect the no's. Go for a no and celebrate every single no that you're getting, because that means you're getting closer to a yes.
I love that way of looking at it. That's magic.
I know it shifts everything, because when it's only about they said no, that's coming from scarcity thinking, and scarcity can only attract one thing: more scarcity. When you're hearing the same no in exactly the same situation, but you reframe it in abundant way, you reframe it as, oh yes, that is so good, because that means a yes is coming at some point. I don't know when, I don't know the timeline, but I know it's coming. You're coming at it from the abundance perspective. And abundance can only attract more abundance.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's just like sent some light bulbs going off in my head. It's about embracing it, isn't it? It's about embracing it as part of the process. Like, don't be scared of it, just expect it. And as soon as you start expecting it, you take its power away, and it just becomes a natural part of the process.
And it's the same way you celebrate a first request for a refund from a client, the same way you celebrate first time the client says, I don't want to work with you anymore. You just go through the process knowing that you've got the knowledge, you've got the experience now, you know what to do, you know how to handle it, and it's not to stop you. It's to teach you, and it's to allow you to grow and get better.
Yeah, I love that. It reminds me of something I was pondering on this morning. The first thing I do every day is try and get outside with my Herbie tea. And I was pondering, like, what if we stopped using the word mistake and we just replaced it with growth opportunity? It could apply to anything. Like, oh, I got 5 out of 10 on my maths test because there were loads of growth opportunities rather than mistakes. You know, like, oh, I left my keys at home. It's a growth opportunity, because if we never grow from mistakes, we don't, like, the lessons are there for us to learn and for us to change things. Like, there's no success without failure. Failure is an essential part, but we're also terrified of it. But like, you don't learn. If something goes perfectly straight off, you don't learn anything from it because you don't know why. So yeah.
The more you fail and the quicker you fail, the quicker you will be successful.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's about embracing it as part of the process and not being afraid of it. And crucially, like you said, not creating stories around it to make it mean something about you, but being able to see it more impersonally as, like, this is just a part of the process. I love that.
Yeah.
So if you could wave a magic wand with regards to women and money, what would you change and why?
I'm actually doing it now. You'll laugh, but I would show them that they can have money, multiply money. They can be good with money. They can invest money. Women are actually so much better at getting a really good return from investments than men. But because we don't do it, the impact we have from investing is so much smaller. I'm just running a program at the moment about investing. And the ladies came in and said exactly to me, I can never invest money. Investing is risky. Investing is this, and that. After one call, and they are like, oh, it's possible for me. That's what I want for every single woman. I want them to become curious about, how can I create more wealth for myself? How can I create more wealth for more generations, for future generations? How can I impact my kids, influence my kids to start thinking differently about money? Because we all have got it. We all have got this within us. It's just the case of us uncovering it and being brave to go for it.
I love that. Yeah, that's such an empowering message. And it is, I think what was helpful for me was seeing money as energy, just seeing it as an energy exchange. And it's even like in the language, you know, like cold, hard, dirty cash, and money is the root of all evil. And there's all these things that we say to each other so that we constantly give it this power to shame us because of how we talk about it. And if you just see it as an energy exchange, and you see it as numbers, and you see it exactly like you're saying, as something that you can play with and that you can multiply and that you are in control of, the whole thing changes. And I think what you were saying about scarcity, I think that's one of the biggest challenges for business owners is we all kind of know the scarcity mindset is dangerous for our business, but turning it around when you are in scarcity is so hard. That moment when you realise...
But there is a good news. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Take it and run with it. I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
The good news is the scarcity, you've created it. The thinking about scarcity. You've created it because you were trained this way, and the good news is you can change it. Now, if I tell you something that my clients don't believe me still until now, 5 years ago, if you spoke to me, I was a person who was in such a deep scarcity all the time. I couldn't see anything good in my life. Nothing at all. Now, give me anything, like one thing, and I'll turn it into abundance from scarcity. Absolutely everything. With my clients, with myself, I can turn every issue into an abundance and see the good side in it. You can train your brain for abundance. You can train yourself for seeing the good things and not going into scarcity. Now, it's not to say that the scarcity will never come, because it might, but you will get out of it very, very quickly as well. You will shake yourself very, very quickly and go like, oh, what am I thinking here? No, it's not me anymore. I'm someone else now. I think differently now. It's the identity shift that you can do so, so quickly once you've trained your brain, your body, your nervous system, once you've you've adopted this identity of, I'm an abundant person.
I love that thought. It is the identity shift from being the master of your own destiny versus someone who things happen to. And that slight
life happens to you.
Sort of victim mentality. And I don't think the internet helps a lot of the time with that kind of thing. But actually, one of the common stories my clients bring is like, there's never enough. And I always say, what if you turned it around and just said, there's always enough? Because to date, you have found ways to pay your rent. You have scraped by, but you have made it work. Like, what if you just said to yourself, there's always enough? And I read something this morning that was like, faith and fear require the same belief in something that you can't see. So what if you chose faith over fear? And I was like, oh my God, that's it, isn't it? Choose the faith.
Yeah, love it.
There are like I've been in crippling amounts of personal debt. I've paid it off and I got straight back into it. Eye-watering amounts of interest on credit cards, but the story I was telling myself was, I'm no good with money. And so I was no good with money. And then obviously, like, understanding ADHD, super helpful. But even before that, I changed it to, how can I get good with money? And once I identified those stories and I saw how they were holding me back, I learned how to be good with money. And then I realized, to your earlier point, what was possible. And then as soon as you start believing things are possible, they happen. But it's just fascinating how much we hold ourselves back and we don't even realize we're doing it.
Yeah. And just to go back to your point about stories, right? When we're saying not good with money, it's only probably because, I don't know what's your experience, but for people I work with, someone told them at school that they were not good with maths. And they created a story around it to believe that if I'm not good with maths, I'm not good with money.
Yeah.
But maths and money are not the same thing.
Oh, I definitely had that at school. Yeah. My maths teacher told me I was on track to get like an E at GCSE. Classic ADHD. I was like, well, screw you then. So I went and I bought myself some revision books and I hyper-focused on it and I got myself an A star. And do you know what he said to me? He said, I've looked up and actually you only just scraped an A star. Like, what a bastard. Oh. Instead of going, Siobhan, you really turned that around, well done, he made me feel shit about it. And 100%, I walked around with that story, I'm no good at maths. I'm no good with numbers. How many women have you met? Oh, I'm no good with numbers. I went to a talk at my son's school a while ago, and they've done all this research, and they were basically like, stop talking about how bad you are with numbers around your children, because we found it's all mindset. We all have the capability to be good at maths, but it all starts up here in your brain. And it's about the stories you tell 100%. Yourself. And how they teach maths now is so different. It's so practical and It's outside, it's in the world. And yeah, like my son will, in the back of the car, just go, "Mummy, can you give me some maths?" And I'll just give him random sums to do because he loves it. And I'm like, wow, how different could your life be if you walked into the world going, "I love maths."
That's so good. Well, I suppose for us, it's, the reason why my daughter is home educated is because we didn't want her to hear those other people's stories
Yeah.
about herself. So yeah, I'm really glad to hear that math is being taught better at schools now,
so different.
because that will have a huge impact on future generations. But I also think we're quite privileged. When I think about my mom, my generation before me, they had no idea what money mindset was. They had no idea what the stuff we're talking about at the moment. For them, it's like, whoa, it's like living in a fairyland. And they did their best when it comes to teaching us about money, about life in general. We, as current generation, that we are in our 30s, 40s, we've got kids, we understand the power of money mindset, and we understand what impact it will have on our kids when we talk to them about money in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I love this for us, and I love it for our kids, that we can change the way they think when they are 20, 30, 40 about money and about themselves, because we, as their moms at the moment, we can influence it.
That actually gave me goosebumps, you saying that. But yeah, you're right. I read something the other day that was like, how do you talk? I follow a lot of parenting accounts on Instagram, and it's like, how do you talk about money around your child? And I was like, oh my God, yes. I've been saying, oh no, we can't afford that. And then I was like, stop it. So now I say,
Yeah,
that's not in our plan. And when we're doing a day out, or I talk to him about what our budget is before we go. So I say, listen, you've got 30 quid to spend on XYZ, or we're going into London today. I've got a budget of 100 quid, for the travel. And I talk about it with him and we plan it. And then he'll go, so if I spend 15 quid in this toy shop on this thing, I've still got 15 to spend in. And we do it together. But I say there's a plan and we're going to stick to the plan. And if we if we spend way more in a shop than I thought we would, we change our plan and then we get sandwiches instead of going for a meal. And I'm like, oh, this is how you learn, is by it not being this secret thing. Like you're saying, our parents' generation, it wasn't okay to talk about money. And they didn't, a lot of them didn't have, especially women, especially the mums, didn't have the skills or the tools. And so it was the secret hidden thing that was a source of stress. But yeah, no one spoke to me. I never heard any positive money chat. Well,
nope,
probably until
no,
about 5 years ago. So yeah, it's 100% about that ripple effect for future generations, isn't it? I love that thought. What I'm assuming people will have absolutely loved, especially women, hearing our discussion today. If people are curious to start making that identity shift and changing their views and their stories when it comes to money, like what's a sort of simple first step people can take?
Learn about money. Learn about how to talk about money, how to deal with money, but be careful. So one thing that comes in, and I'm seeing it very often, when we want to get better with money, we very often go into groups like Facebook groups, Instagram profiles that talk about money with a lot of scarcity. And that's something we need to be really careful of. If there is a profile or a group that talks about, oh, save every penny, go foraging, don't eat this, don't eat that, do everything you can to save every penny, that's not the way to treat money. Money doesn't want for you to behave this way. If money is energy, it doesn't want you to treat it this way, like something that is limiting you. Money wants you to be empowered. Claim your money power back. Learn about money, but learn about money from the point of it's unlimited resource. It's always here. It's always there. It's always available. How can I become curious? How can I become more resourceful? What can I do to see it differently so that more lands with me?
Yeah, that's great advice. And I also think, added to that, I know it's going to vary based on your age, your race, your culture. I think finding ways to encourage the people around you to talk or to open up about money, which I know the ability to do that is going to vary. But yeah, I think finding ways to get people to talk about that and stop it being this dirty little secret, even if it's only one person in your family that you can find who you can have a positive or honest conversation in, just trying to bring it out into the open, I think is really important. Stop hiding it.
Even if it's not family, even if it's, we can't pick and choose our family. We can choose our friends. So find a friend, find someone you can talk about money with in a really abundant terms.
Yeah.
Not in fear, not from the fear perspective, but from this excitement, this joy and fun and this playfulness with it.
Find a money buddy.
Yeah, money buddy. Oh, I love it.
So yeah, how can people find you online if they would like to find out more about you and your work with your clients, and what can they expect when they do?
So mainly on LinkedIn and on Facebook. That's where I kind of mainly reside. They can expect a lot of money chat.
Absolutely.
I'm one of those people that I love talking about money. I absolutely love talking about money, love talking about freedom, love talking about the impact we are creating, but also love talking about the fact that I love money, I want money, but it's not only about the money, right? I am here to live my life to the fullest. This is my mission as a person on this earth, and money allows me to do it. So yes, obviously I want more of it, but I will not trade my freedom for money. I will not build an empire that will take over my life just to have more money. I know what I want. I know my dreams, and I talk about them quite openly. But I also know that working harder for more money is just not right for me.
Love that message. All right, I'll pop your LinkedIn profile in the show notes. And yeah, thank you so much. Just, really inspiring, empowering, fizzy conversation that's got my brain pinging. So thank you so much.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please do drop this podcast a rating or review. I'd be ever so grateful to reach more of those that need to hear it. So I'd also like to ask you a favour. Who do you know that would benefit from listening to this episode? Please hit share and send it to them too. Thanks so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you here next time. Let's do business differently.